Today's episode is being brought to you by Sassy Soul Cigar. Visit them at sassysoulcigar.com. And now we are going to be joined by, can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good. I'm doing great. Good afternoon. How's your week been?
It has been a trying week, but also a joyous one. My brother-in-law passed away last Friday.
I'm so
A week
sorry to hear
ago.
that.
But you know what? He was so at peace. And it made all of us at peace. So
Yeah,
we celebrated him yesterday. So it was phenomenal. You know how most of the time funerals can be very sad, but this was not. It was a party. It
okay.
literally was a party. And
Yeah,
it was joyous. So he would have appreciated that. So
I totally understand. Well, my condolences for sure.
thank you. Thank you.
Of
So
course.
you know what? I've been following you on Instagram. The funny thing is, I thought I had been, you know how you click the button and you follow a person, but I
Yeah.
see your videos and your stories, and I thought I had been following you, and then I was like, why do I see her in my feed, but I don't get it when you post it, right? I go back and I look, I never clicked the follow button.
It happens. It happens. I'm just so grateful that you do follow me. I do appreciate the support for sure.
So you are the founder and do I call you an educator of cigars? Cigar.
Yes.
So how did you get started in that?
Get started in with Cigars with M. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
got it. So I have been in the industry since 2018, and I did a lot of like kind of researching and searching for just being able to understand the industry as a whole and the culture and all of the aspects of the industry. So I set out to really just kind of be engulfed in it. And so one of the things that I did was, talk to seasoned cigar smokers, go to different cigar events, go to different shops, all, lots of research, reading magazines and books and blogs, and just really kind of engulfing myself with that. So then I had cigar events in 2021 and also in the beginning of 2022. And I was talking to what I call my council. They're just a group of people that I really kind of confine into in regards to just life or the industry. And they were like, hey, like, these events are going really well. We really think that you need to do like something that's gonna, put you in the realm of the world.
Mhm.
And I was just kind of like, like, because for me, I enjoy being behind the scenes,
Mhm.
but I also, enjoy being in front of the scenes when I have to. Not that I've ever been a shy person, but I just really kind of liked where I was at. Prior to me doing my show, I would take different photos, like cigar photos, and um, I had cigar education on the bottom of the photo. So
Mhm.
like that was my thing for a while. And, I was talking to, this group of people and they're like, yeah, like you should do something that's just like, touches the world. And I'm like, I'm thinking that I'm doing that. Like, with my photos and,
Right.
having cigar events and stuff. So, needless to say, I came up with the idea of having a show. I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I felt like that was where I was needing to go.
Mhm.
And so started the show July of 2022. I'm coming up on 1 year, super excited. And so from there, the show just kind of um, blossomed. I did my very first episode on July 4th, and I completed it. However, it took me 6 hours to do, but I did it. And I actually published my very first episode on July 5th.
Mhm.
So from then to now, we've been pushing every single Monday. Episodes have been coming out and consistently trying to educate people about cigars.
Mhm. So what have you found is the hardest part about keeping your material fresh?
I think the hardest part is that there's so many topics about, like, there's so much knowledge to learn about cigars.
Mhm.
So being able to decide on what you can do within 90 seconds,
Okay.
because 90 seconds is the amount of time that they give you for a reel. Now, there are longer reels, but those are considered to be not the quick reel content.
Mhm.
So I try to keep my shows within the 90-second realm just so that it's quick content and it gets pushed further within the algorithm.
Mhm.
So it is quite difficult to do it because I have my calendar set out for the rest of the year, like the topics that I'm going to do. And I had to decide, okay, is this a topic that I can do within 90 seconds? Because
Mhm.
I have, tons and tons and tons of topics that I want to talk about, but I'm also like, how can I get that in 90 seconds? If I, can't get it into 90 seconds, I'm like, maybe I need to, table that one until I can figure out how to get it to that point.
Mhm.
So it's definitely difficult. How I figure it out, I read lots of books, I read lots of magazines and blogs, and I'm talking to people who are considered to be elders in the industry. And so as I talk to these people and as I read and as I am, searching for information, I come across, oh, that might be good. Oh, that might be good. So then I kind of come together with this list. So yeah.
Right. So what when you look at 90 seconds, do you have a script, or is it just, okay, this is what I want to say, this is what I want to convey, and you do it, and then you look at it and say, okay, it's a little long, let me go back. I want that same content, but let me try to go back and make it shorter.
So I actually write my own scripts. I do it all myself. I do all the research first, and then I sit down and I write the script. Um, I really pride myself in writing my own material because I want it to be authentic to me
Mhm.
and actually know what I'm talking about. I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, I just kind of know about the topic. No, like I actually research. I
Mhm.
might not know every single thing about it, but I know
Right.
what I was talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not up here just saying like anything. Like,
Right.
I actually did the research to do so.
Right.
So I write the script and I then will record the script. And then I will, check the videos out to see kind of where that is. But I kind of I don't know how it works, but I actually have not had a situation where I have gone over the
Mhm.
90 seconds. I think it's just because I'm now in the groove of doing it so
Right.
quickly, and also just understanding that like my script is not super long because I don't want to overload people. I just want people to be intrigued, educated, and then to do further research. Because
Okay.
I'm not like god of cigars, you know what I mean? So for me, it's like I don't want people to look at me as though I'm like my word is the Bible. I want
Right.
them to, really think of, okay, this is a really cool topic. I didn't know about it.
Mhm.
Let me do a little bit more research. Like I was educated. Now it's time for me to do some more research to understand the
Right.
full concept.
Right. So when you look at uh like you said, you started in 2018, you are coming up on your first anniversary. So when you look at the topics that you have that you've already, what do you say, planned out for the rest of the year, are there any topics that you say, I want to go back and do a little bit more on that, or do you try to keep each topic just once, you do that topic once and that's it?
So I actually have done some kind of cross referencing in regards to what I have previously put out. I may have mentioned the term,
Hmm.
but I may have not went into depth about it.
Okay.
So for me, that is something that I do really like look into because I can't run out of topics because cigars is never ending,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Which I'm so grateful for because I'm like, I picked a great job. Like this is great because I'm not gonna run out of topics.
Right.
I
Right.
just am gonna run out of, time, because of course, you have to, again, like we were talking about before, make sure you get that 90 seconds.
Right.
So, for me, I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. Like,
Now, do you have another full-time job? And then
mhm.
how do you balance your full-time job with being a cigar influencer? Because like it or not, you are a cigar influencer.
Yeah. And
So
it's so funny you said that.
how do you balance the two?
Yeah, so it's funny. It is real funny. I guess I thought about this the other day because I did had a conversation with somebody a couple weeks ago, and they asked me like how many hours I actually spend researching, and I'm like, yeah, it depends on the week, but sometimes it could be 20 to 40 hours like for myself.
Right.
Just legit researching, time spent doing production, because I run my company like a production company.
Mhm.
Like, we are quite not yet, we're not there yet, but I'm running it as such
Mhm.
because I want to get there and that's where
Right.
I'm going to be.
Right.
So I have to run it as such. So how I balance, honestly, it is a struggle, because I work 40 hours in my normal job,
Mhm.
and then I work, between 20 and 40 hours for myself.
Mhm.
So it is definitely a struggle. But I make it happen. And let me tell you, God's strength is how I keep moving, because keeps me motivated. Like,
Right.
he keeps that, remember what I told you.
Right. Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So even when I get tired and sleepy, and sometimes I don't even get but like 5 hours of sleep,
Mhm.
because I go to work, I get off at 6 o'clock, and from 6 to 12 or 6 to 1, I'm working on me,
Right.
and
Right.
on my lunch break, I'm working on me. I might be writing a script or doing some research, or, working on some content, or creating, some documents or an invoice, or like I'm doing something,
Right. 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 So do the people that you work with, do they know that you're a cigar influencer?
So they do actually. I have a lot of support from like my coworkers, and it's really nice because they're all like, "It's just so nice to see you in this light," It's funny. Like,
Now, what is the biggest challenge being a female cigar influencer?
I think the biggest thing for me is that I am not trying to sound funny, but I really consider myself to be an educator versus being an influencer.
Mhm.
Only because I actually um want it to be more than that.
Mhm.
And I want to make sure that, when I'm talking to people, it's not just, oh, like she's just a pretty face and she takes
Mhm.
pictures and, whatnot. Like, and I'm not, by no means, I can't speak on anybody else. I can only speak on myself. But,
Mhm.
I want people to feel comfortable to ask me questions about cigars. I want people to, teach me things about cigars, because I don't know everything. And I
Mhm.
don't claim to know everything. So,
Right.
for
Right.
me, it's like I want that to be the case. And the biggest challenge, I think, is that um, being able to make sure that I am staying on my course.
Mhm.
Sometimes, in life in general, you are maybe in the same industry or same doing the same type of thing, and there are other people around you doing it differently, and you're thinking about your success and thinking about their success, and I have to like tell myself like this is my own race, like I'm in competition with myself. And
Mhm.
not that I'm a person that's big on comparing, because I'm really not. But it's just a mindset of like reminding myself like I'm doing this because of XYZ, and this is what I'm called to do, so this is what I'm going to do, just
Right.
kind of those positive affirmations for yourself.
Mhm. So do you remember the very first cigar that you had?
I do actually. I
Is that
actually
now
still
one
have a
of your
picture.
favorites?
No, believe it or not, it's not. Like, I actually have a picture of my very first cigar, me smoking my very first cigar in this cigar shop. Amazing. So my very first cigar was a Tatiana Groovy Blue.
Oh, mine's
Yeah, yeah, right. We have something in common. And I honestly, like I haven't smoked a Tatiana Groovy Blue in like, oh my goodness, like 2018 when I started. Like
Wow.
literally it was, it was kind of a fast track for me. So
Mhm.
I tried the Tatiana Groovy Blue with my dad, and it was like, okay, like I want to continue this. Like this is
Mhm.
something that this is what I want to be a part of.
Mhm.
So from there, like it was, I met some people that were, in the cigar industry, and they gave me a travel humidor of a bunch of different cigars, like flavored sticks, also premium tobacco, non-flavored cigars. And from there it just kind of opened my palate even more. And
Mhm.
then my actual real very first non-flavored cigar was a Liga 9. And
Okay.
I love Liga 9s. Like
Mhm.
they're great. And so that is what really kind of sparked me out of the flavored realm, because it was just I was smoking the Tatianas, and
Mhm.
then I met this group of people, and they provided me with a travel humidor, and then in that box was a Liga 9.
Oh,
So
wow.
and I was like, yeah, I really don't want these other cigars. I just the flavored ones, I'm not really with that.
Right, right.
Like, you know?
And that's the
But I was
thing.
so grateful.
Right. That's the thing. I think a lot of people start with a Tatiana, and I think it's because
Or
when
a nub.
you start, people want to start you very light
Mhm.
and not small, but like they don't want to push it on you and give you something so harsh that it's going to turn you away from it. So
Right.
my very first one was a Tatiana Groovy Blue. I have not had one in ages, but
Yeah.
my most favorite is a Monte Cristo White Series, because
Really?
after I had that Groovy Blue, I went to the cigar shop and I met
Mhm.
LH, and he's one of the hosts of Cigar Lounging podcast, and he was
Okay.
working in the cigar shop I went into, and I was like, I'm new to smoking and I want something to smoke, and he gave me a range of mild, medium, and full.
Mhm.
And I came out of there like I was walking out of Walmart with a basket full of cigars. Um,
Mhm.
Sifted through them, and I only chose the Monte Cristo White Series because I like the band.
Really? That's so funny.
And I smoked it and fell in love with it. So I always have
Okay.
to have that in my humidor. So I'm guessing that you always have to have a Liga 9 in your humidor.
Yeah, I have one in there. I actually, what's so funny is I wasn't like holding on to them, like keeping them every single time in my humidor, but I had a friend that gave me a 2018 Liga. So
Oh,
I'm like holding on to it because that's the year that I started smoking. So
right.
like it's monumental. Like
Right. So, but so are you never going to smoke that? Or are you waiting for that very first big thing and say, this is 2018 Liga 9 special?
So I honestly was thinking about smoking it on my anniversary of my 1 year.
Mhm.
Just because it's so significant, like it's such a special moment.
Right.
And being able to say that like I actually have been doing something that I am very passionate about for
Mhm.
1 year. Like that's
Right.
huge.
Right. Right.
Every Monday for 1 year, haven't missed a Monday. Like
Wow. Wow.
literally. And I started to add other ways of content. So essentially I do like a cigar of the week on
Mhm.
Fridays. On Wednesdays, I do a question of the week. So I added things in there, but like I have literally been doing a cigars with cigar education show literally every Monday for
Wow.
1 year. Like,
Wow.
so it's
So, okay.
crazy.
So now that your 1 year anniversary is coming up, is there going to be some sort of celebration? I saw you do events at wineries. So
Hmm.
is that going to be something that you're going to do for your first year anniversary?
So honestly, I am not going to do like a huge like party thing. I'm gonna do a personal celebration.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'll see lots of posts of like, me celebrating like cigars with them and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I am not gonna do huge like celebration only because I'm gonna be going out of town like in the next day. So
Okay.
like I can't like so I can't like I don't want to do too much, and because I'm already going to be celebrating it out of town, but it's also just like I can't really dedicate the funds to do a whole lot for both.
Okay.
So so yeah, so I'm like, yeah, but I am definitely super excited about it. And it's for me, I think it's the biggest thing is that I want to relax
Mhm.
because I really do spend a lot of time researching and doing content and working on my show and editing and doing all of those things. And so I really just want to relax.
Mhm.
Like like
You've earned it. You've earned
relax.
it.
Yeah, right. Like relax. I'm gonna get myself a cake, some
Right.
balloons. Like it's gonna be really simple. I'm gonna smoke like the cigars that I really have been holding,
Right. Right. So you mentioned that you smoked Tatiana Grew Blue with your dad. Is your dad the one that got you into smoking cigars?
Yes, so my dad
Oh,
is the responsible human. Like one of my favorite people in the entire world. He is the one that got me smoking. Honestly, it's funny because he didn't really want to.
hmm,
And I had asked him for two things for my 23rd birthday. So I told him that I wanted him to come down and spend the week with me because I was also graduating with my second degree the same week.
hmm.
And so he was just like, okay, yeah, that's the first thing. So what's the second thing? And I was like, yeah, so I kind of want you to teach me how to smoke cigars. And he's like, what? Come again? So, he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, daddy, I'm sure. He's like, are you sure?
Right.
And my uncle, the funny thing about it is his brother, it was just my uncle Al. Both of them have been smoking cigars like my whole life. So like
Hmm.
that's all, I know that that's the case, right? And he tells my uncle Al, and my uncle Al's like, are you sure? It's an expensive habit. Like, like it's funny. And I'm just, I'm in the zone because I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. Like
Right.
anybody
Right.
that knows me, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going
Hmm.
to do it. If I say I
Right.
want something, I'm going to get it. Like that's
Right.
just, it might take me a little minute to get it, but that's the case. Like it's going to happen. Right.
Right.
And so my dad took me to the local cigar shop, and the tobacconist spoke with me, and he kind of walked me around the humidor. My dad walked me around. Hey, these are the ones I smoke. These, all these things like that, and fell in love. It was,
Wow.
it was like love at first sight, like, like, or love at first smoke,
Right.
really.
That's good. Love it. Smoke. First smoke. I like that. So
Yeah.
you're in Maryland, which,
I, I live
well,
in Virginia.
Virginia. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
technically DMV.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. I'm here.
so and that was surprising to me because I being in Maryland, even though there's a lot of cigar smokers in the Maryland and DC and Virginia area, places that you have been, I'm like, oh man, I didn't know that was there. And I've been to those different regions of
Areas.
Virginia, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's there. Like, so how do you find places to hold your events? And the second part of that question is, how did you decide to start doing events?
So I will answer the second question first and then roll into the first
Okay.
question. So I wanted to make sure that I supported local. So that's like huge. That's a big thing for me. I always tell people, even in my shows, I will say, like, go to your local cigar shop,
Mhm,
because I really believe that the retailers are extremely important.
mhm,
And I also have, a hospitality background as well. So keeping the money in the same city is very important, and it keeps things flowing for the locals as well. So with that being said, I really just kind of looked at it. I visited a bunch of different cigar shops just as a consumer.
mhm,
And I really just kind of wrote a bunch of notes in regards to, oh, this cigar shop has this, and things like about bathrooms, things about just every single thing, because again, hospitality background. So like I'm thinking about the people
right.
and the experience, and how people are going to feel, and how the feeling is when you walk in, and what's the ambience, and
Mhm,
all of those things. So I'm doing everything from like the bathroom, the certification, the grade that they have, like,
mhm,
all these things, right? So I kind of narrowed it down to some shops. And I, spoke with the cigar shop owners, and I said, hey, I really would like to have a cigar event. And this is kind of what I'm going to do, what I'm going to offer. And, I want to make sure that, if this is something that you want to do, that we talk about it. If it's something you don't want to do, then that's totally fine. I just wanted to say that, like, I really like your shop, and I would love to have an event here where I am bringing people that may have either never been here before, or they are people who follow me that just want to come support. And I got a lot of really good feedback, and I was able to do a couple of cigar events. So I've done an event at what used to be Enzo's Cigar Lounge, and it is now Reese. And love Miss Cherie, she's amazing, and she is the very first African American woman to own a cigar shop in Virginia. So, like, it's
Really?
huge, yes.
Wow.
And she's amazing. Like, she is everybody's favorite auntie. She's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, baby, how you doing?" Like, it's a whole thing. I love it. She is a queen, literally.
Wow. Wow.
And then I had an opportunity to do a cigar event at RVA Tobacco, which is a great lounge as well.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that it's really diverse. They have a good cigar selection. I was able to collaborate with a cigar company, Casa de Sueños,
Mhm.
that sponsored the event. So it was really dope. And then I did an event in August of 2022 at Griffin Cigar Lounge. Love it. I love the fact that the owner is he's always like, how can I help?
Mhm.
Everybody in the community, whether it's cigar related or non-cigar related, he's very much so like, how can I help you? How can I use my resources to help you? Like, what can be done?
Mhm.
And so he, was just like, I already love you. Like, you come in here, we have a good time, we talk, we like, of course you can have an event here,
Wow.
like, so
Wow.
it was great. Like, I loved it. And so many people came out, and it was just a great celebration for sure. And lots of, talking about cigars, cigar education. Like, I had all of my tobacco laid out, and I was talking to people about, the filler binder and the wrapper, the different veins. Like, we talked about the actually the cigar mold, because I had some cigar molds there, and it just was, everything was great. It was
Mhm.
wonderful. And I got to help people pick out cigars, and really just kind of introduce some folks who'd never smoked before to
Right.
cigars. And it was great. It was wonderful. So
Wow.
I've had 3 events so far.
Mhm.
And I am kind of on hold in regards to having more events, just because now my focus is my show.
Okay.
But I definitely am open to doing things where maybe I'm hosting an event for that someone else is having, and they're inviting me to host it.
Okay.
Or if like, someone is saying, hey, I have a cigar week, and I really would love for you to put on a class during
Okay.
our cigar week. I would love to do that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's definitely kind of the direction in which I'm going.
Okay. So how often do you visit cigar lounges? Like, or do you prefer to smoke at home?
So I visit cigar lounges maybe once or twice a week.
Mhm.
And I think for me, the biggest thing is that I really try to support um new cigar lounges, existing cigar lounges. Like, I don't discriminate
Mhm.
in regards to choosing where I go. So
Mhm.
yeah, and then I will travel to go places. Like, this weekend I actually went to Vitola 121.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I'd never been there before, and I was just like, okay, I have a free weekend, like, let's go,
Right.
and so I went, and it was great. I really enjoyed it, and it was nice to support, and I got some cigars that I never had before. Also a cigar for my show that I am planning on doing soon. So it
Mhm.
was great.
And you know what, I didn't realize that a lot of cigars are regional. So like if I'm in Virginia, because I go to Fredericksburg a lot. If I'm in
Really?
Virginia, yeah, yeah. I just left there this morning. I
Did you go
just
to Hogshead?
I did. I that is one that I will go to a lot. My girlfriend is working on opening up another one
Oh
next to
wow.
her restaurant next to Orleans Bistro.
Oh,
So
that's so great. You have to let me
yeah,
know when it happens. I'll have to come up
I
there.
certainly will because it's going to be. I'm gonna be hosting it. So
Wow,
yeah,
congratulations. That's dope.
yeah. I mean, she sprung it on me, and I'm like, okay.
Right. Like, okay,
um,
sis, like, I believe in you. Okay, now
yeah,
this is your turn.
yeah.
Like
Exactly. So when I went to Hogshead, there were cigars there that I've never seen before, like ever. Like I
Yes.
know the line, but I didn't have these cigars in the Maryland shops. And then I went to Baltimore and they had cigars that I never found before. So that is the
Hmm.
biggest surprise for me, that some cigars are literally regional. Like I didn't know that Acid has a 410 cigar that's only sold in
Really?
Baltimore. Yes. See, you
Wow.
didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know.
And I was
I
like,
I mean, I know cigars are, excuse me, I know cigars are regional, but I did know that they have one specifically for Baltimore.
yes, yes. Acid
I had
has
no idea.
called 410. So
Okay.
I was like, because I guess that's closest to their area code, I would imagine. But I mean, it's just been so phenomenal watching you on Instagram, and I'm trying to catch up on all your videos. Like
Oh, thank
I've
you. I
been
really
watching the videos,
appreciate
and I'm
it.
like, oh, I didn't see that one. So when I do get free time, I put it on my computer and I'm doing other work because I have the luxury of having 3 computers. I mean,
That's great.
I'm retired, but I work harder now than I did in my normal job.
That's how it is.
So I have 3 computers, and you'll be up on one, and I'll be editing my videos on the other one, and then I'll find myself just looking at the screen. I'm like, oh, I was supposed to be doing this.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate the support. Honestly, like it means a lot. I always tell people I'm just grateful for one person.
Hmm.
So 50 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, I'm just grateful for one.
Right,
So it's like because people don't realize that um it is not just your content out there.
right.
Some people honestly have the mindset of like, oh, this everybody's gonna see my stuff, and it's like, it don't work that way. Like, I wish
Right.
it did.
Right. Exactly.
Like, that
Exactly.
would be great, but baby, it don't work that way.
Right. Right. It's work.
And
It's work.
right, exactly. And I'm just so grateful because I haven't done any paid advertisement. Like, this
Mhm.
is legit organic and people sharing and literally just people discovering me. And so I'm
Right.
just really grateful because it doesn't have to be this way. It could be very different.
Exactly. Exactly. So tell my audience where they can find you.
So I am available on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And Moments with Mechelle on TikTok, Moments with Mechelle on Instagram, Cigars with M on YouTube, and on Facebook it's Cigars with M as well.
Oh, see, I didn't know about the Facebook, so I got to go there.
Yeah,
Check
yeah.
it out.
Yes.
Well, here is, you know what? I'm having a mimosa this morning. So
Oh
here's
wow.
to your first year
Thank
as
you.
Moments with Cigars and Moments with M. So I
Yes.
salute you.
Thank you
I
so much.
I thank you for joining me today. And whatever the rest of the day brings, I hope you just keep it smoky and
Yes.
love it first smoke.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a great
See,
day.
you too.